Shawarma food poisoning. The primary cause of shawarma food poisoning is Salmonella food poisoning. What is Salmonella? Salmonella is the most common bacteria that cause food poisoning, mainly found in the intestine of poultry birds. Salmonella causes more foodborne illnesses than any other bacteria. Chicken is a major source of these illnesses. In fact, about 1 in every 25 packages of chicken at the grocery store are contaminated with salmonella. You can get sick from contaminated chicken if it's not cooked thoroughly. The symptoms of salmonella infection usually appear within 6 to 72 hours after eating or drinking contaminated food, including fever, stomachache, diarrhea, nausea, and sometimes vomiting. The suitable temperatures for salmonella growth range from 35°C to 37°C. The pH of food influences salmonella's growth and survival. The range in which salmonella will grow is about 3.8 to 7. Salmonella bacteria can be destroyed by cooking food for enough time at a high temperature. How does salmonella get into shawarma? In shawarma, the source of contamination are chicken, mayonnaise, salad, and cross-contamination from equipment and cook. Salmonella exists in different places, so several sources of salmonella infection exist. Salmonella is usually transmitted to humans by eating foods contaminated with animal feces. The primary source is the food of animal origin, such as meat, poultry, milk and dairy products, eggs, and seafood that have not been cooked properly. Sources of salmonella in shawarma. Mayonnaise. Homemade mayonnaise is considered one of the most sensitive foods for poisoning. Why? Because the main component of mayonnaise is raw eggs, there is a great potential for transmission of salmonella from chicken through the egg shell. The microbe penetrates the broken shell and reaches yolks. There is no cooking involved, and neglecting mayonnaise outside the refrigerator for a long time is unhealthy and leads to rapid spoiling. But commercial mayonnaise helps prevent food from poisoning because it is made with pasteurized eggs and also contains vinegar. Salad. Compared to cooked veggies and meats, salads carry the highest risk of contamination. Raw vegetables like sprouts and lettuce, etc., may contain E. coli and salmonella. May be irrigated by contaminated water with salmonella, and there is no cooking involved. Follow the steps below when washing vegetables. Discard outer leaves and any torn or bruised ones. Rinse the leafy greens under running water and use your hands to gently rub the surface of the leaves. Don't soak leafy greens in a sink filled with water. They can get contaminated with germs in the sink. Don't soak leafy greens in a bowl filled with water. Contamination from one leaf can spread through the water to other leaves. Cross-contamination. Cross-contamination usually happens when food is prepared on surfaces that were in contact with raw meat, such as a cutting board or countertop. Lack of personal hygiene. Usually, in many shawarma restaurants, cooks prepare sandwiches without proper personal hygiene. To shorten the time, some cooks thaw the frozen chicken directly through hot water, and that lead to the spread of bacteria on the chicken's surface. The shawarma's diameter, which reaches 50 centimeters around the skewer, reduces accessing heat to the center of the shawarma and provides worm climb for bacteria. What is the treatment for salmonella? Most people with salmonella food poisoning recover in 4 to 7 days and do not need treatment. During the illness, the person should drink plenty of fluids to replace the fluid lost by diarrhea. When should I call the doctor if I have salmonella? Call the doctor if the illness lasts longer than a few days, or if diarrhea is severe or bloody, or if a fever over 101.5 degrees Fahrenheit lasts longer than a day, or if the sick person is at risk for severe salmonella. Like a person age 65 or older, or an infant, or someone with a weak immune system, cancer patients, people with HIV or AIDS, or someone with inflammatory bowel disease. What are some tips for preventing salmonella? When cooking, wash your hands, cutting boards, utensils, and countertops after they have been in contact with raw meat or poultry. Wash your hands in between handling different kinds of food, meat and vegetables, for example. Wash fresh vegetables and fruit thoroughly before eating. Cook food to the recommended safe temperature. Keep the refrigerator below 4 degrees Celsius. Keep hot foods hot and cold foods cold. Follow these steps when preparing shawarma. Buy all ingredients from an approved source. Meat cones that are to be frozen must be placed in the freezer right away and must be kept frozen until cooking. Use a clean knife and equipment when slicing meat. The broiler must be kept on at all times. But the broiler may be turned down, not off. The outside temperature of the meat must be a minimum of 60 degrees Celsius at all times. Once the meat is sliced from the cone, the meat must receive a secondary cooking step on a grill or in an oven. It's important that you cook the meat to a temperature of 74 degrees Celsius. Once the meat receives a secondary cooking process, it must be served right away or placed in a hot holding. Make sure that meat is not left in the temperature danger zone. Meat that has been cooled to 4 degrees Celsius must be reheated to 74 degrees Celsius before serving to a customer. Thank you for watching.